Hey everybody, Bill in Virginia. Welcome back. So this time, we should be able to get the track work going pretty well on Jerry's build here. So, excuse my shadow, you can see the Piedmont and Blue Ridge Railway as Jerry has envisioned it. It's got the different track components all labeled, laid out. So I have done, I guess what I would call a test fit. Putting down track, not cutting or anything at this point, but just laying out the key components in different areas. Putting down the pieces of sectional track, nothing is connected, it's just sort of laid in position to make sure that the track plan would work well in this configuration. And it does. It fits well into the space. It's got that same look as what Jerry's got on here. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to take and probably start right here or there or there or there. Somewhere in the middle, that's going to be my starting point because I've got to cut track and get the spacing. Probably what I will do is start with this switch because I know I've got the straight run, so I can get one of the crossovers in place on that. Then I can start doing the different pieces of track here so that I can get my distance correct on the crossover for the second one. Can cut and get started, and then these tracks will align the way they should, and then start to work my way around. Doing the actual connectors and connecting will take a little while. There's a fair amount of cuts that have to be made in different sections of track to get the curvature the way we want it. But it will fit and it will look good when done. So there'll be more coming on this one here. I'll get a little farther along and then we'll come back and take a look at progress on this. Well, Sunday afternoon is coming to a close, and I've been working on Jerry's layout for a little while this afternoon. Did a few other things. It was a warm afternoon in Richmond. Kind of enjoyed outside a little bit. So I've got rail joiners added, and I've got the track in place up through here, and then kind of a start around that loop and down here. Where I've got these gaps, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use flex track so that I get a good fit from here and maybe run the flex track, who knows, all the way down and around until I get a good curvature. Nothing's kinked. I've got room to play with it here. Same thing over here. I'll run a piece of flex track up. More than likely, that piece I'll just take out, run the flex track up to here so that, again, I get a smooth and nice sweep off that switch into that double track. Once I get around over here, probably the same thing. I've got more switches, another section of double track right over here. So again, we'll have some sweeping flex track in there. But if I continue here, and I don't have a whole lot of work going on, it's keeping me busy this week, probably by the end of the week, I should have power applied. What I'll do then is I'll just grab some alligator clamps and probably clips, clip onto the end of a rail here and just put some power, run some of my engines around. So once I get the track all in place and I run it and I'm satisfied that, everything is in good shape, I'll get Jerry's blessing on what we show here. And then I will start to mark off all of the track locations and then come back in and start putting cork road bed down. I'm going to use a construction adhesive on the cork road bed, lots of needles and other things to keep it in shape. Put the track back on it and use construction adhesive again on the track. Also, I will show at some point just how I'm going to put feeders in this. And I will put an ample number of electrical drops on this, regardless of how many blocks that Jerry wants. Good connections. Not going to go crazy, but yeah, I'm going to make sure that on each side of switches, I've got power feeding in so that there's little chance that we're going to have engine hesitation. But that will come a little later. I'll spend a little bit more time out here on Sunday evening. I've got the track pretty well done from there over to here. Still got to finish up how I want to do this over here to kind of keep the nice tight double track like what Jerry's got on the plan, and then still work in the switches. Made one modification just to kind of see if the track will work. That there was that really small Payco switch there, and Jerry had one that had a couple of ties that were loose. Switch is still fine, so I'm going to try to work that in there so I can still get that spur going off. Probably actually be better in there, because then the straight leg is going to go into the curve rather than going through a curve into the curve, and this is just going to disappear off scene. So anyhow, making some progress. I'm looking forward to getting the last rail joiners in this in the next day or two and putting some power to it. So Monday night after work, and I just made a trip to Michael's. If you look close, you can see the heads of pins. I went out and bought a pack of like 800 of these little sequin pins, about like 1/2 inch long. So where I've got the track down and I want it to stay, I've come in and I've put pins in different locations, like about 1 per track. All I'm wanting to do is keep the track in position while I am doing other cuts and other fits. Once I get more done, I'll pin it in place and then finish up as I get over to here. The pins will all come out super easy, but I can leave them in as I'm doing tracings around the track a little later to get ready for the application of cork road bed. Just a simple little thing. Foam board doesn't hurt the foam board for anything. Any holes are going to be hidden, which does, again, it doesn't make any difference because I'm going to put scenery on it, and so is Jerry. But you know, just something, and trains can run over it, which is why I wanted to get the flathead pins. So once I've got everything done, put power, I can run trains, and I'm not going to be worrying about the couplers picking the heads of these pins, because I was thinking about using the round head ones, but it's like, no. I'm going to have derailments. This is the best. So anyway, that's where I'm at right now. I'll see what else I can get done yet this evening. Off and on, I'll be out in the garage here. Well, Friday evening comes to a close. I haven't been out working on the layout here much the past couple of days. Ended up getting sick midweek, running a low-grade fever for the better part of 24 hours, so I'm just kind of rested. But now this evening, I've got the last of the track in place on Jerry's build here. So came back in, got flex track put in some of the spots here. As I move over this way, use those little safety pins or little craft pins to kind of put stuff in position here. Still got a few little adjustments to make, some tightening up, and this track is kind of close to the edge. I do have some wiggle room over here, so when I do my marks and layout for the cork, I will probably skew this ever so slightly so that I can get a little less space here and just a little more space there. So minor tweak, just kind of shift the layout ever so slight. But if we look at the plan that Jerry drew, we've got pretty good representation in the corner. I did have to put a curved piece right there just to kind of shoot it off this way. Have to talk to Jerry to make sure we got room for the building that he has there. Sweeping curves, got those in. We've got the siding in here. The double track actually laid out really well. Notice on the plan has a slight curve and then over. The time I was putting the pieces together, the curve brought it out a little bit farther and then down. So I didn't put in quite that curve straight, another curve. It just didn't feel right, and it really wouldn't have worked well with the double track here to tie in. So just a straight shot into the curve. A little bit different, but not significant. Siding that he's got here, we've got there. I did end up using the smaller radius switch. A little bit, slightly different position, coming off that straight, and to get it so that it would actually go around this curve and make a realistic curve going into the other switch. So a little bit wider here, but you know, we can do fun things there. We can put a little switchman shanty, you know, who knows. Jerry's doing buildings, but we've got the track going off pretty close to the angle that he wanted. Over on this side, we've got nice siding. We've got the track going off the layout here. Small track there, the double track. So coming around, double track, small track, track going off, switching here, and then coming up here. Again, nice curves going into this little double track segment. So all in all, I think it looks pretty good. I'm going to send Jerry some pictures, and then tomorrow I'm going to hook up some power, and I'm going to run one of my DC N-scale engines. I've got a bunch of them, so I'm going to have some fun running some equipment I haven't run in a long time and just see how, excuse me, how this flows. I haven't done anything electrically. I haven't soldered feeders. So if I have a little hesitation at some joints, it's not a big deal. I will get Jerry's blessing, go to the cork, and then I'll be making up a batch of feeders as well. So a lot more to come on Jerry's build, but we are making progress. Saturday afternoon, and we have life on the Piedmont and Blue Ridge Railroad. So I've got one set of feeders hooked into Jerry's layout here, and brought out some old DC equipment that I've got, this Roco engine that had never been run. Let it run around on its own for a little while, and it smoothed out. Really, actually a nice running engine. I've been testing different switches, different things, and running freight cars on it, and it runs really well. So this is at about 40% on the power pack. I'm using an old Tech 2 here. So as we go from Children's Raceway to Real Railroad. And that's off a Tech 2 and an old engine, and it runs nice. So I'm happy with the results so far. You will also notice the switch is gone. That was over there. Talked to Jerry, and based upon where he's going to have a road kind of going into the center, that switch would have fouled that area. You know, we could have made a crossing there, but it just would have been a pain in the keister. So got rid of it, and now we've got a nice spot right in through here where that road's going to cross. It's going to be very close to what Jerry has on his plans. So good with that. Jerry wants one more tweak with one of these sidings. Probably going to have him over tomorrow, if at all possible. He can bring his engine and he can run his layout. And again, I'm happy with how it's running. I like this. This runs really nice. So I'm going to set it to go over to a different track here. And let's see. Run around. Okay. So we'll let it go around one more time, and I will then close out this video. It's long enough. No, and of course it's going to stall on me. Figures. There we go. Track has not been cleaned either since I've done cutting and fitting and everything. So let's see here. Yeah. I like this. I like this plan. I like this layout, how Jerry's designed it. It's going to be fun. All right, let me make sure I can get past that point, because I know right past that switch, a little hesitation. We'll fix that when we port and actually add feeders to this. Should be no problem, but it runs across the diamonds well. All right, well that is going to wrap it up for this video. We'll see what we do on the next segment of Jerry's build here. So with that, keep having fun on your layouts. Until next time. And one more quick segment. I had to run that Alco PA Pennsylvania Lifelike, and nice and smooth. First time I've had it out of the box. And now that's going to do it for the video. See you all next time.